Well, good afternoon, America First Patriots. Wow. Wow. My name is Brooke Rollins. I have the extraordinary honor and blessing and privilege of serving the America First Policy Institute as its president and CEO, and what an honor to be here with all of you today. We have so many of you who have traveled from so many parts of this country to be with us. We have over 1,200 registrants over these 2 days. When we first sort of envisioned this event, we were hoping that maybe a couple hundred of you would come. And instead, we had to stop registration at 1,200. So God bless you, and thank you so much for being here. There is no question that we convene at a time of crisis in our country, truly a time for choosing, a moment where action will be required by those in this room to right the decisions of an administration and of far left radicals bent on remaking the very fabric of our country. In their crosshairs, though, are the Constitution, our faith, and our way of life, and all of you, and the stakes could not be higher. Fortunately, the American people have never been one to back down from a fight. Americans love the fight for freedom because we know for whom we fight. It is for our families, for our God, and for our future. You see, we the people have for nearly 250 years proven time and time again that there is no challenge too big to conquer for the United States of America. And that's a good thing because the challenges that we face today are big indeed. Abroad, we face an aggressive, totalitarian, communist Chinese regime which threatens our very way of life. A Russia threatening the peace of the world, and an Iranian regime threatening America and Israel alike with a nuclear holocaust. But perhaps the threats abroad are actually less dire than the threats coming from within, right here at home in our beloved country. We have schools teaching our children that America is an inherently, irredeemably evil nation. We have a White House that is allowing oil from our strategic petroleum reserve to go to foreign adversaries during a time of crisis and losing our energy independence. We have the highest inflation in 40 years, where people are literally having to choose between eating and heating, or air conditioning as it may be today. We have an attack on religious and civil liberties unlike any we have ever seen before. We have a humanitarian and a security crisis at our southern border. We have soaring crime in our inner cities, exacerbated by an all-out war on our law enforcement and on our Second Amendment. Our external vulnerabilities reflect our internal divisions, and we ignore them at our peril. And that's why we are here today in our nation's capital. At the very first America First Agenda Summit, we will hear from the sharpest minds, the best hearts, and the strongest voices in the America First movement for liberty and for freedom. Over the course of the next 2 days together, we will tackle the most important issues facing our country, discuss those solutions, and most importantly, chart the future ahead. But first, I really want to take a minute just to say thank you. It has only been a little over a year since AFPI was launched, which is a little hard to believe, although for all the staff that have worked 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, it may seem like 20 years since we launched, but truly it's only been about 15 months. In that time, we have built a team of the best 150 American patriots in our 22 policy centers. And I'll introduce our policy chairs after we pray. We've taken on big tech. We have sued Twitter, sued Facebook, sued YouTube for their censorship and silencing of the American people. We have put boots on the ground in 32 states around this country on key America First agenda issues, from election integrity to school choice and patriotic education, to healthcare transparency, to taxes and spending, to fatherhood initiatives, to border security, to big tech censorship. The list goes on. The AFPI team was in full force in the states over these last 15 months. We fought on behalf of American businesses and workers against Biden's vaccine mandates all the way to the Supreme Court, and we won. We launched our sister C4 organization, America First Works, to ensure that the America First agenda continues unabated in the states as well as in Washington, D.C. We launched the Save America Coalition, which was used to educate the American people on the dangers of the $5 trillion Build Back Better bill coming out of this White House and ultimately, hopefully, leading to its defeat, and so much more. But now, as we move forward, that brings us to why we are here today. Over the next 2 days, we will be laying the groundwork for the return of the America First agenda. The agenda that puts our people first, with the hope of America First leaders returning to the White House, to Congress, and to the state houses.